Good morning, everyone. Ron Nicoletti here with my buddy Brian Nato. It is another beautiful day in South Florida. We got a fast main track, firm turf course. Of course, we have the all-weather Tapeta. Brian, we haven't had rain since opening day, December 1st.
I'm going to steal your quote, buddy, and call it a Chamber of Commerce kind of day. 79 degrees in my car, and that was working pretty good on the ride down here. So it is beautiful out. We've got two-year-old turf stakes, the first two that we're going to run on the better-than-ever turf course. So a lot of excitement for the two-year-olds.
Yeah, Brian's been dealing with air conditioning problems throughout the summer and fall here, so he's got it all straightened out. That's how he knows it's 79 degrees. So it's just a great day. We got $250,000 gross jackpot guaranteed to Rainbow Six, which will start in race number 5 with this really nice 10-race card. And Brian put together an early pick 5 ticket. So we're going to jump right in because we got a lot to talk about this morning. And Brian, let's see your ticket.
$20, a couple singles in this sequence. You can see spreads and singles. We'll get to the opener, back-to-back 4 balls. Angelic Gal, we've got the replay of her. I think she'll be a short number. Stephanie, My Love, is my best bet of the day. Going to lose a little value with Luvanoski coming out of that race. In race number 4, 47 is the order. I'll just take the 2 Pletcher horses. They look better than this group, and they've got turf experience, too. I think that's a big edge in there. That is the Pulpit. And then in race 5, another spread in there. Number 6, No Deliberation, is on top for me, but I'm going to go 4 deep in that spot, maybe try to get a little bit of an upset.
Yeah, I got No Deliberation on top of that in that race, too. Interesting and how that plays out. First race today, turf maiden special weight 2-year-olds. We did have an early scratch of the number 3 Interstellar, and please note jockey change on the number 1. It'll be Jose Morelos on the number 1 inside there.
Oh, we're in.
What?
Interstellar's in.
Oh, no, Interstellar's.
Yeah,
oh, I did the
you're
wrong race. That's the other one. Interstellar's in. Excuse me about that. That's the problem I made.
We figured it out.
We figured out the problem I made this morning. So Interstellar is in 6-1. Paco Lopez in the saddle this afternoon. So I went to the outside, Brian, with the number 11 Royal Salute, who's debuting locally with blinkers added, which I like today after rallying to finish a promising third. And I'm going to go back and show you that performance. So this is the top of the stretch home at Keeneland. Watch this horse. He just battles along the inside. He's the number 5 that afternoon, Royal Salute. And I just like these battle here. Boy, that turf course took a lot of beating there at there. But this horse, number 5, just game on the inside, just keeps coming on. And I just thought it was a game performance. I like the fact that they're putting blinkers on him. Yeah, you go. Good job by Bob upstairs. Just keeps coming on. And I just thought it was a good performance debuting for Brian Lynch. He's 27% with first-time blinkers. And I just thought that was one of those game outings.
Well, Bob's earning his money the past week or so, doing a good job. We appreciate it. A couple of my boys from Kentucky that I highly respect their opinions. They like this horse today. The post is a problem. There's no doubt about that. But that was a good, solid debut, and I think we move forward.
Well, the horse I tried to not have you on top is number 3, Interstellar, and I think he got a stat on Kelly Brain.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. It's not a big stat, but Kelly's down here now and looking good, and we know he does a good job overall. I thought this was a pretty decent stat, though. First-time turfers past 5 years. That's 22%. It's not a huge sample. He's got Paco, his main guy here. This is maybe a little dicey, but if you look at the other horses in here that have run in the afternoon, Ron, none of them have shown any speed, okay? Paco is aboard. We know Paco likes speed. I feel like he's going to be aggressive here. The works don't necessarily whisper speed, but I feel like he'll be aggressive here, and if that's the case, and if Interstellar breaks running, I think he can make the lead and maybe get brave over a turf course. We've seen that working on.
Well, the number 6 horse here, Nostalgic One, is the son of English Channel, debuting for Todd Pletcher with a steady work tab showing up at Palm Beach Downs, and is the return of Red Ortiz Jr. will be in the saddle this afternoon. That, to me, yeah. I got to throw this one somewhere on the ticket. I'm sorry, I got to do it.
No doubt. Todd owns this horse with his well, he's co-owner with Joan Pletcher. Okay. I thought it said Jake, his dad. This is the first foal out of a 2-for-5 dam who won her debut on turf. It wasn't her first start, but the first time she got the turf, she did win. Irad is here. Ronnie said it perfectly. Maybe there's some intent. These works up at Palm Beach Downs don't necessarily give anything away, but this is a son of turf champion English Channel.
The number 4, Juniper Serra, in here is making his local return. First start. He had blinkers added last time, and he was third going a mile on the Kentucky Downs turf for Mark Cassie. Jose Ortiz named on this Son of Noble Mission.
Yeah, I like this post for this horse. I think this is the horse to beat because of Royal Salute drawing the parking lot. Juniper Serra down inside that's going to help.
Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon. 6 furlong starter optional claimer for 2-year-old fillies, 16, or the optional tag of 16. We got a field of 6. I'll start it off with Wheeling and Dealing, who's dropping to the 16 level today and cutting back to 6 furlongs in the main track. Went up, prompted the pace. He finished 4th against those 35 starter optional claimers, going a mile 70 yards for Kelsey Danner. Miguel Vasquez managing the combo. Surface switch, drop down, turn back. I'm trying to beat Angelic Galloway. I know you had singled.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with the one, right? And if you're a fan, you're going to get a decent price because they're going to bury Angelic Gal 7-5 on the morning line, and wholeheartedly agree with that. But, Wheeling and Dealing has some form to fall back on. Kelsey does a good job, and the fact that Miguel sticks around, I think that's a positive, too.
Well, we'll show you why everybody's going to be betting Angelic Gal. Just his 8-pole home, just a jiggy jog in the park that afternoon, 3-2 on the line, and they closed a little bit, but it was just window dressing at the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, she's stepping up today and facing winners, but let's just be honest, this isn't the saltiest group that we're going to see here of winners this weekend, and she comes in off a absolutely romp in the park. You see it there. Jose Ortiz is going to pick up the mount as well, and if she's not on the lead, she's not giving anything away early, and I think that's a positive too.
And quickly, drop kick queen is turning back to 3/4. Blinkers added, return from that layoff to finish third against 25 starters for Jerry O'Dwyer. I think he puts the daughter of commissioner where she can be okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. And cutting back maybe a furlong is not going to hurt. She's got some foundation after running longer.
Race number 3 this afternoon, 5.5 furlongs, fast main track, maiden claiming fillies, 2-year-old, 16,000. Scratch the number 3 in here, Lubanowski. I went and you went with number 4, Stephanie, my love. It looks pretty tough here.
Yeah, this is my best bet of the day. I don't think we're ever getting 3-1, and now with the scratch of Luvasanaki is out too. Jose Morelos is going to ride the 1. Take note of that as well. Listen, it's Claudio Gonzalez off the claim. We know how good he's been. We'll take a look at a stat. We love these Claudio stats because the stats are just, the sample is huge. Look at this. Dirt sprints off the claim, 5 years. He's 48 for 186, 26%. The ROI, $177. And this horse has solid Delaware Park dirt form for a lower percentage trainer. Claudio claims this one out of the Tapeta race, right back to the dirt. I just think she's going to be a problem for this field.
Yeah, the number 7, Gigi's Golden Girl, is dropping to the 16 level. Showed some speed and fader. That was her debut at 35. Going 5 on the all-weather from Mike Yates. 22% with maidens making their second start. Outside draw today. I thought it was a horse that might grab a share.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she at least showed speed on debut before tiring. Maybe the dirt wakes her up a little bit. She's got that start behind her. Mike, 22%. Second out, too.
As Brian mentioned at the top of the show, we are on the turf with stakes races for 2-year-olds, and the first one will come in race number 4, 7.5 furlongs. These are 2-year-olds, $75,000. It is the pulpit. No scratches, no jockey changes in here. And you made a great point. Arigola, $220,000 son, Medaglia d'Oro, makes his stake debut. We're just going to pick up his race at Aqueduct on November 6th. We're going to show the 8th pole home, when she just cruises to a front-running victory in this race. He cruises to a front-running victory in here. Just thought it was a good performance. And it looked like they were going to close in a little on this horse, but certainly from wire to wire, this one was in control.
Yeah, and this is a much more demanding turf course, at Aqueduct with some give to it. And now we get over a fast, firm turf course here at Gulfstream Park that's been looking great, and I just think it plays perfectly into the hands of Airy Gold. Luis Saez had won 3 yesterday, and he's going to put this son of Medaglia d'Oro with a big pedigree. The blinkers went on last time. You won't have to look hard to find him.
The number 7, Sendero, is the other one from Todd Pletcher. Now, this is a $300,000 son of City of Light. He's going to wear blinkers today following that restricted stakes victory, going 5.5 furlongs on the Colonial Downs turf with a late closing 5th and a mile in the 16th. Todd said he's still, he thinks the blinkers are going to help this horse settle down. He's a big horse, and he wants to get him. And, that was the AWOD Stakes rally at Aqueduct, and Arad's going to be here.
Yeah, and you know what? he was fifth that day in closing that day, but you look at the turf sprint at Colonial 2 starts ago, and he was chasing 46, so he's got some speed to him. The hood goes on today. That probably sharpens him up a little bit early on as well. Showed last time, too. He doesn't need Lasix to run well. I think that's noteworthy, too. They're not going to have it, obviously, today. And I think it's which Todd do you want? That's all.
Yeah, I split him with the 2 Lights of Broadway, who used in third, is making his first start on the turf. Solid 3-race campaign on the Tapeta. Includes that victory in the 65 Armed Force, 65,000 Armed Forces for Mark Cassie. Edwin Gonzalez quarterbacking the surface switch this afternoon. And Mark Cassie, one of the best with horses going from Tapeta to turf. So I just split those two.
No, he's a player. I talked to Nick Tomlinson. We'll show that video a little later on today. You know, Nick's had this horse all along down here. Mark's assistant. He does such a good job. And this horse hummed up at Palm Meadows on the turf with a bullet drill. He's handled routing on the Tapeta. No reason to think of City of Life can't get some turf today.
Well, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back with my Rainbow Six ticket.
It's probably the most beautiful racetrack in the country, to be honest with you.
The background is just beautiful.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the grandstand and the racing.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
The Gulfstream Championship meet has become one of the top events of the year. You could come out on a Wednesday and see a future Preakness winner.
They're off in the Preakness. The Run Happy Santa Anita Derby.
Got the unique 6.5 down the hillside turf course.
A whole lot of great racing here in California.
And we're off.
We have all 3 surfaces here, the only racetrack in the country to have all 3 surfaces. Being close to the ocean, being surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders in history, it's amazing.
It's the prettiest thing you've ever seen. There's no one else has a background like we do.
Race 5 this afternoon is going to be a 6-furlong sprint. Maiden claiming 2-year-olds, 25,000. We do have a scratch in here. A jockey change on the number 5. Sean Bridgman will ride the number 5 horse in here. Let's quickly look at my Rainbow Six ticket. We'll talk about the 5th race. Got my long shot early on in the card with Hardy Choice. I just think that one for Brian Lynch will run okay in there. I think 6-1 or 8-1. Race number 7, I'm going with Golden Isle on top with Mercury Head in second. In race number 8, I'm using Delight, but the post is a concern, so I use Isabel Alexandra and Juniper Marshmallow on my ticket. In race number 9, just going to use the 8 Uncle Armando, the 5 Mamza, and the 2 Poppy's Boys. And then the last, taking a little bit of a chance there with Cadet Corps for Liz Dobles, with the Performing Arts for the one and only Bobby DeBona.
Bobby D, look out.
So 43-20 for me. Let me tell you this right now. I struggled with this one. It was tough to put this one together.
It's a difficult sequence. I was thinking in the office as I have a long shot in there. There's a couple races that are impossible. I said to myself kind of in my head, we're going to get to the 10th race today. I think we might have a situation.
Yeah.
There might be some singles out there.
Yeah, exactly. So getting back to this 5th race, 6-furlong maiden claiming 2-year-olds, 25,000. That jock change on the 5, Sean Bridgman. I did, and so did you, go with no deliberation. He's turning back to 3/4 after responding to those blinkers. Ran better.
He did. You know what? I picked this horse. He's favored. He should be favored. He's not favored. He's second choice. I think he will be favored. Excuse me. He doesn't have to win, okay? That's why I did go 4 deep. To end my early pick 5, I would do what Ronnie did, get some coverage in this race if you're kicking off the Rainbow Six. But he did run well last time. The cutback here, I think, is important for this horse.
The number 2, Barak, is where you went, who's just in second, shortening up to the 3/4 mile. He tracked the pace, faded to finish 5th behind aforementioned no deliberation last time out. Carlos Munoz, Miguel Vasquez in the saddle.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's huge. You get Miguel here, and he's always seemingly getting on live horses. He's another that cuts back. I'm looking at the 5.5 race 2 back. That was a very fast race for the level. National Unity was really good that day. If he can get back to that race, it puts him in the mix here.
Yeah, and we got Macho on the inside that we both have some interest. Gelded Son of Gervin drops. Late interest in his 50 debut, finding a spot for him for Jose D'Angelo. He's good with maidens making their second start.
Yeah, he's okay. He can move forward, and Golden Talent's favored on the line. And listen, I guess I get it. He's dropping from 50, but I don't know if this horse can run any run.
Let's go to race number 6 this afternoon, mile on the turf. These are maiden special weight 2-year-olds. Nice full field of 10 to kick off the late pick 5. Very interested to see your ticket.
$48, and I got to be honest with you, it could have been a lot more than that, but we don't want to go too high here. We'll go 4 deep, and we'll get to it here. 65 in race 7. I'll go Adios Babe over Mercury Head. I lost my top pick, Lexinator, in there. Here's the single, Personal Pursuit. Might be a little bit aggressive. I talked to Nick Tomlinson. We'll show that replay a little later on as well. 6 deep in race 9. Ronnie, you don't let me take races off. Otherwise, I would have used the all ball. It's got my long shot in there, Major Wager. I'm excited for that race. In race 10 to get out, 9-10 is my order. The posts are problems, but Performing Arts and Kitten Spa, they are the 2 best horses, if nothing else.
Yeah, really a wide open affair. We'll start it off with the horse that's my long shot on the card this afternoon, Hardy Choice, who's debuting locally after setting the pace and weakening in what should prove to be a positive career debut, going a mile on the Keeneland Turf. Brian Lynch, Julian Leperoux rationed his speed from on and with the pace. We've noticed that speed has been good on the turf, and the reason I mentioned at the top, we only had that little bit of rain on opening. It was a lot of rain, but it's been a while back. So I just think this horse is going to sit a trip. I was looking to get a little price, and I was glad to see you used it on your late pick 5 and on your ticket.
Yeah, this horse might go favorite in here. I mean, off that Keeneland race. Worthington is really good, comes back to win an allowance race at Churchill Downs. If they don't bet the Pletcher, okay, Boomer, and we'll talk about that one in a second. I think Hardy Choice off the Keeneland race, people are going to see that. You're going to take a lot of money in here.
You did go with the 2 Spinning Musician, and this one is from Ken Sweezy's barn. And okay, 5th on the Tapeta. Was it 5th? Yeah. Okay, 5th and sprinting on the Tapeta.
Yeah, I think this horse is dangerous for the reason I picked the horse in the opener, the 3 Interstellar, because I think, Ron, Miguel gets aboard here. We're on a send mission here, right? This horse is chasing crazy splits on the Tapeta. We're down inside. The afternoon turf horses haven't been much that we've seen here in this race. And this horse has got speed. So I would expect Miguel to put this Son of Hard Spun. We've got that Danzig blood in there. Love those hard spuns on the turf. Look out for Spinning Musician.
Okay, Boomer is the 7, the Son of Noble Mission, debuting for Todd.
Dan was 3 for 8. Okay, she did win her debut. We'll give her that. Second full. The other one was unraced, so we don't really know what's going on here. Luis Saez is named aboard for Team Valor. I would assume this horse takes a lot of money, 5-2 favored, and I agree with that. We'll just have to see. I don't want to see this horse up there 5-6-1. This horse is supposed to be bet today.
I want to see your stat on this horse here from Todd Pletcher.
Well, this is another reason why I went away from this horse a little bit. This is a Hall of Fame trainer that basically does everything in the 20s, and this is 8% now, 7 for 90, routing first-time turf at Gulfstream the past 5 years. So obviously this is a predominantly dirt barn, but this is the time. If you're going to beat a Hall of Fame trainer, this is the time to do it.
Race number 7 this afternoon, about 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, claiming fillies 3 or 4 and up. Non is a 3 race in life or a race since June 10th, and that is a 20 down to $16,000. Scratch the number 7 here. Lexinator. I went to the inside, Brian, with Golden Isle. Claimed in 5 consecutive races. Goes to the Dan Hertak barn. Cuts back to 5. Drew cleared to notch her 6th victory of the year when she scored at 5.5 furlongs last time out. Boy, does she know where the winner's circle is. She's she's going to have Luca Panici. I like the fact that they kept Luca because he's been riding this horse very well.
Yeah, and you will not have to look hard to find her. She just wired 13 days ago. She's going to try to do it again here. This is a much better group today, but Danny does a good job. Trainer Danny Hertak, 17% off the claim. Going to have to go from down there. She loves, like you said, Ronnie, loves winning races.
The number 6 horse in here is Adios Babe, who proved she can compete at this level last time out.
Yeah, I scratch into her. I had the 7 on top, Lexinator, but Adios Babe now, I think, on a drop here for Liz Dobles. And Luis lands here. I think that's a big positive. We're drawn outside. We can see what's going on down inside, and he's got the speed to stick around a little bit up front.
And the number 5 Mercury Head is debuting locally at the 20 level, debuting on the Tapeta today. Faced Allowance Company to 2 starts. They claimed this horse for $16,000, Kelly Breen did, and then they put her right into fire there. It's a daughter of Ken Theros, bred to handle the all-weather surface in winning fashion. We've been showing Ken Theros how well that his progeny do on the all-weather surfaces.
Yeah, and the thing that I like here is that Mercury Head's best 3 races were on the turf, so we'd like to think getting over the Tapeta today, that might work for her.
co-feature event is in race number 8 this afternoon, about 7.5 on the turf. Fillies 2-year-olds, $75,000. Nice full field of 11 in here to kick off this race. And these are the 2-year-old fillies variety of the race we had a little earlier. And I did go with number 11, Delight, who's expected to bounce back in winning style, for me at least, after following back-to-back turf victories, including the impressive score in the Grade 2 Jessamine Stakes. Let's go back and just show that 8-pole home where she just, cruises. I spoke to a little bit of Louis Sayas. He just felt so good that day, and there was no one catching her. Didn't fare that well in the Breeders' Cup. We'll hear Louis say that she just didn't seem comfortable that day, and this is just one of these performances. Now, I know this. You got to deal with the outside post. Louis Sayas, 3 wins in a row yesterday. If anybody can do it, it's Louis Sayas.
Yeah, and he's got the speed at his disposal from out there to negate that draw. And there's only one way to go when you're in the parking lot like that, and that's a send mission. So he should be able to get to the lead. You know what? We're on with our buddy Mike Penna this morning on talking, and he said, is there a Breeders' Cup hangover for some of these horses? And it's a distinct possibility, because don't forget now, the Breeders' Cup is the end-all, be-all for these horses. Jonathan Thomas, I'm sure, had her cranked to run the race of her life. Now it's a kickstart. It's an end of the year, but in reality, it's a kickstart to 2023. How do we come back? How tight are the screws today for a horse that Ronnie just showed you already has a Grade 2 win under her resume?
Well, I think you made a great pick here with the number 4 Personal Pursuit from Mark Cassie. I know you spoke to Nick Tomlinson the other day. It's a half to 3 previous stakes winners on the grass. And, it was okay last time in the Matron. Didn't seem to fire that well.
Yeah, she was running on late that day, and now they get some extra ground. We're by Tappet out of a Kitten's Joy mare. So like Ronnie said, the pedigree is certainly there to run all day. Now we're going to get an extra turn. We're well drawn inside. I don't expect her to drop out the back. She broke dead last that day at Aqueduct. So we'll see what we get today, but I would expect Tyler, and welcome back to him, puts her in the race a little bit early on, and because you're not going to win turf races, especially not turf stakes races, dropping out the back.
A horse that's been pretty good is the number 3, Isabel Alexandra, is making her stakes debut for Gustavo Delgado after proving her debut victory, going 5 on the Indiana Grand Turf. Wasn't one of those one-shot deals. She returned. She finished second. That was going a mile at the tough Keeneland meet. Jose Ortiz in the saddle today.
We haven't seen a lot of Gustavo of late, but this is a sharp, sharp barn. He took this horse to Keeneland, and she ran very, very well to be second against winners, fresh off a maiden debut win, and that was from a bad post that day. She's drawn much better today. I think if you're rainbowing, if you're pick 5ing, you got to give her a look too.
I think you got to use the number 9 too in there, Juniper Marshmallow, who's a daughter of Quality Road, stepping up to face winners. What I liked about this horse, had a successful debut, defeating maiden special weight runners, going a mile in the 16th on the Keeneland turf. That is tough to do, going a mile in the 16th. Todd Pletcher, Arad Ortiz Jr. in the irons. I don't know if this horse is going to sneak under the radar at 8-1. I think he's going to be lower than that.
She's slow.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a slow race, but it's Todd Pletcher. You expect improvement. We just showed you the stat here at Gulfstream Park. Well, that's the stat he just blew up at Keeneland, so we'll see what we get. She needs to run a lot better, though, if you believe in the figures.
Race number 9 this afternoon, about a mile in the 16th on the Tapeta starter. Optional claimant 3-year-olds that started for 12.5 or less. The tag is 20,000. Scratch to 4. J.P. Hellish. Jockey change on the 5. Mamza will be Sean Bridgman, and on the number 9, it will be Junior Alvarado. And why, pray tell, do you ask? They're not riding. They're on their way to Venezuela to ride in the Carib del Classic. So.
You have been waiting to drop that information. Our buddy Victor gave it to you, and you've been like a kid in a candy store. So there it is.
Well, I figured that's going to be the biggest question everybody asks.
Will you tweet that?
I will tweet that. I can't right now. I'm on the air. Plus, it takes me about a half hour to tweet one thing. So I got a horse in here, Brian. I don't know if you used it. You did not use this horse. I just think that the Uncle Armando, it ran a good race last time out, stretching out after the pair of competitive outings at a mile and 70 yards. He defeated 20 starter optional claimers 2 starts back, was third against state-bred optional claimers in a race, moved from the turf to the all-weather surface. That's the first time that's happened this year. Safi Joseph Jr., Edgar Zayas. Hey, 8-1 on the board.
I got him 5th. He was in my pick 5. This is a beast of a race, and you're going to get basically fair value on anybody in here. The favorite is 7-2. It's a wide wide open race. It's a great betting race. Uncle Armando just ran not too long ago and was good. December 1st, actually. Just ran 9 days ago. He likes the Tapeta. He's in the mix as of lots of others.
Yeah. Well, you went with the number 3 horse in here, and that's Major Wager. Let's talk about him right now.
So this is my long shot. He is 15 on the morning line. Yeah, okay. This race is the gang is all here.
Yeah.
Well, he's not part of the gang, and I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, because whoever you like, a lump Uncle Armando in. We've got, Racecraft and Fly the W. They've all been beating up on each other.
We're going to show that in a minute when you get done.
Where they've all been taking turns. Now, I'm the newcomer, but I'm coming in off a win at Indiana Grand. I have a win on the all-weather, too. I think that's important to note for a solid barn. Luca is going to ride, and I'm a number in here, and a big number in a race where, listen, I think you can get a little crafty.
We're going to go back and show you Poppy's Boys, Wicked Finn, and Fly the W back on November 12th, race 9, just before the 8 pole. And there you can see the great job that they did upstairs. Fly the W right now has the lead. And, and there is, he's just dueling in the race, with Wicked Finn. And who's going to come and reap the spoils? It's going to be number 2. That day is number 9. That day is Poppy. You're going to see Poppy's Boys splitting horses at the end. And there's 5 horses in that race. They're all back today.
And Poppy's Boy is 16-1.
Yeah.
So that's like, who's going to win today? And we don't know. It's one of the reasons why I went with a newcomer. You kind of do it, too, because Uncle Armando's not coming out of that race, too. Listen, throw the dart at the wall and see where it lands, but you better look for a price in there.
Our final race of the afternoon, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. 3 jockey changes here. The 1 is Jose Morelos. The 2 is Edwin Gonzalez. And the number 10 is Jesus Leos. I did go with the 8 Cadet Corps, who's going to the Elizabeth Doblesbahn and returning to the turf. Drew clear to defeat those 12-5 claimers, going a mile into 16 to Tapeta. The barn is good with claims. I know I'm going to get a price here. Hey, I got Miguel Vasquez handling the surface switch this afternoon. I think that is Miguel on the switch? Yeah, no, Tyler, that was one of the switches today, because Miguel, I think, is going also to Venezuela. So Tyler will be right. I'm pretty sure about that. So Tyler Gaffleone on that one. So Cadet Corps at a little bit of a price, getting Tyler, who knows this course and track better than anybody. So I think that's a major player in there.
You know what? I'm fading this horse, but I will say this, and Liz Dobles does such a good job, especially for the imaginary horses with John. This is horses a Tapeta horse and doesn't really have any good turf races, and she claims them and immediately runs them on turf. I think when a good, solid trainer does that, maybe you take a little more notice.
The number 9 Performing Arts now in the Bobby DeBona barn. The gelding drops to the 16 level today after winning 1 of 2 races. I get some. Hard to gauge what Colonial Downs horses were. Were they tougher? Was it a lateral move? Previous winner on the Gulfstream turf has Luis Saez.
Yeah, and Bobby had this horse with a win here at Gulfstream Park, and that was it for me. I don't like this post, obviously, but Luis will figure it out from there. I think overall, this is the horse to beat.
Really tough, but very competitive and fun card of 10 races today. But we will go to our lightning round, and Pete will be up just momentarily to give you those scratches and jockey changes. And we had a horse return yesterday. It was pretty impressive.
We've been seeing all week, Super Corinto gutted it out the other day, and some comeback horses and talented horses that are hinting at big things, and I think none more so than favor for Team Pletcher and Stone Street Sables, and just looked really good because Bluefield, looked like she was going by, and then Favor's class kicked in, and I'm going to go out on a very, very strong limb and say you will not see her in any allowance races anytime soon.
And let's check out our best bets and long shots. And your best bet this afternoon is in race number 3, Stephanie, my love.
Yeah, I mean, she might be about 7 to 5 in there, especially with a key scratch, too.
And my best bet this afternoon is Ari Gold, and you're not going to get much on that horse in at 9 to 5 in that race. Your long shot today is later on in the card.
Yeah, and that tough Tapeta race, Major Wager is 15 to 1, and I would think we can get every bit of that because it is a crazy wide open race.
Yeah, I just like this horse that ran well at Keeneland in race number 6, a hardy choice at 6 to 1 on the line. Probably could have made the horse in the last race of Liz, my long shot.
Yeah.
Might be a bigger price than this horse is here. Tomorrow we got a really nice, the turf campaign continues with a couple of juvenile turfers set to shine on Sunday's maiden special weight.
Yeah, we got a couple of them, and Erna was huge on debut for Cherie DeVoe at Belmont at Aqueduct. Let's make sure we say it right there. And she just didn't see out the mile in a 16. She's going to get nailed here on by a repeat winner as well. And she's going to be a short number in the finale. You know, we always talk about the dirt horses, the 2-year-olds turning 3. Well, we've got a really, really good program down here, too, for the grass horses. We're going to see a couple of them tomorrow.
And you know what? Pegasus, what is it? January 28th.
Never too early. I think we saw Super Corinto throwing his hat and potentially in the ring the other day. We showed Cyberknife, the dual Grade 1 winner, is probably going to lead the way in the Grade 1 Pegasus. Here's the other thing, too. I'm glad you mentioned it in the office. Our old buddy Colonel Liam, who's won the Pegasus World Cup Turf, is trying to race on Thursday in here.
Yeah, he's only also eligible in the $75,000 optional claim. And I'm looking
Poor
at him saying,
guy.
this Colonel Liam, yeah. So we'll see how that plays out. That's down the road there, but that's what this meet is. It's just everybody setting up for what they're going to do in the championship meet. And, of course, on January 28th in the Pegasus World Cup. What a great day is. If you haven't ever been here, you got to come out and join everything that they do here with all the pomp, circumstance, and the acts and the singing and the dancing. And you'll be doing some dancing, I believe.
Maybe later that night.
Let's turn it over to Pete Aiello with the scratches and jockey changes.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place.
We back.
Northern Dancer, winner of the Florida Derby.
Yeah.
All the history, and all these great horses, trainers, jockeys.
It is Barbaro to the final furlong. He is a neck in front. Barbaro wins!
It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Sunday silence surges to the front.
First day, opening day of championship meet, I was kind of starstruck. You're watching LeBron James, and then next thing you know, you're playing basketball against him. That's how I felt when I'm riding with Donnie V, riding with Irad, Luis.
So many famous people come, Post Malone, Pharrell, J-Lo was there. It's epic.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
It's all about Knicks Go. Knicks Go makes it 4 in a row.
It's one of the most beautiful tracks in the country, surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders. It's amazing.